Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. And today we have the lost city of Machu Picchu. Yes, well, it's at first yesterday I thought it was a fairly deceptive name because we know where the city is. It's in Peru. It's in the Andes Mountains, and people have been traveling there for decades, if not centuries, since well it was discovered. So it was lost at one point, and back in the early 1900s, I can't remember the name of the guy, but he came climbing up these mountains and discovered this city. Um, Now, yeah, obviously people have been there before, but the idea that it had been abandoned, the Incas were pretty much responsible for building and first of all engineering a city on top of a mountain in a way that is just astounding. This video, this episode, pretty much it's 44 minutes long. By the way, it's from 2019, so it's pretty recent. It gives some great cutaways and gives you an idea of just how this city is constructed, what it's constructed on, what it's constructed of. To me, that's the most fascinating part of it, just to see how people in ancient times put together things of such astounding complexity, with such precise measurements and purpose that today we take for granted because we have computers. Anyway, the guy who discovered it back in 1913 or so, um, he was well. What made this discovery kind of important is the fact that they had photo cameras with them at the time, and they were able to take pictures of this discovery. And there's like 2 dozen volumes of just photos and details, written details of this discovery, this city from every angle. And by the way, they get not just into the construction and the buildings. And by the way, when they found it, if you look at the ancient photos, the original stuff that they took as they found it, because we've had people doing archaeological digs or discovering new parts of the world, but they didn't always have the technology of photography with them at the time they did it. These guys took so many pictures, and it didn't look this clean. It didn't look this smooth and clean. It was overgrown, just stuff everywhere. But once it cleared away, it looks gorgeous, as this does here. I mean, you've seen it in every other person's dating profile photo. Like, I like to travel, and here's a picture of you in Machu Picchu, and yeah, it's a screensaver for a lot of other people. Um, so yeah, it's a gorgeous place. I hope I would get to visit it someday. It would be amazing. Maybe they'll have a Comic-Con up there. I don't know. Maybe not. Probably not. Probably shouldn't. Yeah, it goes into not just the structures of everything, but they found a lot of skeletons, and made some first impressions of what they thought they found weren't exactly accurate, as people discovered years later as they put together two and two, and found that it added up to something completely different than what the guys who had originally found it thought. Um, it talks about the engineering of how the water, because they say they get about 76 inches of rain a year, something like that. That's a lot of rain, and what these guys had done is created these terraces, and the way they filled in each of these terraces with different types of earth and stone and sand and everything, made it so that it prevented mudslides and everything else. It's kind of it's astounding work. Then they create these little waterways that provided water for people, probably about 1,000 people who lived up there for a long time. It's pretty astounding stuff. So if this is the kind of thing you're into, like, obviously if you like some history and you like to find out what all this stuff is about, where it came from, ancient civilizations that no longer exist, this is your bag, baby. Quoting Austin Powers. Wow. Anyway, yeah, and they also go into what was the purpose? Why build a place like this on top of a mountain? Some people think it's a sacred place. It's a place where kings and I don't know, gods lived. and other people believe it could have been a military base outpost, a place where war was waged. There's so many different things, but they had to examining the bodies. Well, that gives us a whole lot more clues as to who these people were, at least the ones that were left behind before everybody just sort of went away. So I'd say check it out if this is your thing, and it's one more documentary to check off the list, learning about our world from the interior of our homes, as we can do on Disney Plus, as we have done over the past year. It's not all just princesses and Star Wars, Wookiees, and superheroes. So let's check out tomorrow's episode.
3.
Bitch, I know what this one is, or what it is a spin-off of. Keep going. Yep. Well, think of what Disney classic starts with a number, and realize that it takes up the first 4 slots with sequels and spin-offs and the series based off of that original film. We've already actually seen the original film in a previous episode. There's remakes, live action remakes, there's animated sequels, and a series. But we're going to be watching 101 Dalmatians, Patch's London Adventure. 101 Dalmatians 2, Patch's London Adventure, I should say that. Not 102 Dalmatians. It's 101 Dalmatians 2, Patch's London Adventure. That's a lot of titles. So, anyway, that's what we're seeing next on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow.